Nightbeat starts right now.
We begin tonight with the weather. Several severe storm warnings in our area throughout the evening, some of them expiring now. We've seen them from Frio County all the way to Bexar County and into Comal.
Yeah, those storms already bringing heavy rain and in some places even hail. How long can we expect this last one to last? Let's check in with Katie.
Yep, we've been keeping an eye on this throughout the game, letting us know what's happening.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, we had the severe storms across the hill country this evening. They wandered south and have produced some hail across parts of the KSAT viewing area this evening. Now, generally speaking, at this hour, storms are weakening, but we do have some rumbles of thunder and even some hail ongoing across parts of Bexar County. We have some rain up through Hollywood Park and then into Comal County, but I want to quickly touch on this little thunderstorm cell down I-35 far southwestern Bexar County near Von Ormy, Atascosa, and Somerset. Heavy rain here and potentially also some hail, maybe as big as about the size of quarters. That's going to be south of 35, so south of Atascosa and just to the west of Somerset. Radar estimates we could have some hail here about the size of quarters, and that's really getting close to severe limits there. Hail is the main concern with the storms that are out there currently. I want to give you another look at a severe storm. The one severe storm we have left, which is down across parts of Frio and Zavala counties. This is producing some heavy rain along I-35, essentially through Moore, down through Pearsall, and also west along 57 toward Batesville. Here's where we could have some hail up to, again, about the size of quarters. Also some 60-mile-per-hour winds, a lot of lightning here. And the thing with these storms tonight, they have not been moving very quickly, so this is dumping some really heavy rain along 57 from Batesville over to Pearsall and near Moore. We've also got some rain up in Kendall County. I'll have another look at radar for you. I'll also show you future casts heading into the overnight hours. Those of you with kiddos and pets, just know we have continuing storm chances through the overnight hours, so there may be some extra cuddles in order tonight. I'll have more for you coming up in a bit. Tim.
Thank you, Katie. Topping our news tonight, a 51-year-old woman shot and killed tonight, and now 3 SAPD officers will have their actions reviewed as a result of an officer-involved shooting.
As the night team's John Paul Barajas reports, before the shots were fired, the woman was allegedly trying to attack her on and off again boyfriend.
A large number of officers swarming a home off Del Mar near South New Braunfels just after 5:30 for a call that started as a cutting and then escalated into police using deadly force, killing a 51-year-old woman, according to SAPD.
My dad heard six gunshots, and when he heard the shots, it came out and there was cops running out of the driveway.
Neighbor Juan Cordero explained he didn't know much, but at one point says the 51-year-old woman was waving a gun in the air prior to police arriving, which matches preliminary information given by Captain Jesse Salame, who says the 51-year-old, an on and off again girlfriend to the homeowner, came to visit and was agitated. She allegedly started either punching or scratching the boyfriend before grabbing an AR-15.
She's been in this house before. She's kind of on again, off again, so she's familiar with the house and with what's inside of it.
The SAPD captain adds the boyfriend and his roommate were able to wrestle the gun away and pushed her into the backyard and locked the door. The 51-year-old then allegedly grabbed a long blade knife and was stabbing the door when officers arrived.
The witnesses reported hearing the commands by officers to drop the knife.
A 3-year veteran with the department ended up shooting multiple rounds, killing the 51-year-old. That officer reported trying to use a taser before switching to the more lethal option.
You said the taser was ineffective. It was ineffective when it hit her, or was ineffective in discharging?
We don't know, and that's part of the investigation. So it's apparent that the taser was used based on the evidence.
Now, only one officer fired at that 51-year-old, but 3 of them confronted her. All of them are down at SAPD headquarters giving their statements and will likely face either administrative leave or administrative duty. And there is still a lot to look at in this case, like officer body cam video as well as neighbor's doorbell video. As for the boyfriend and the roommate, they did not suffer any serious injuries. John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
Take a look at your screen right now. Have you seen this little girl? 10-year-old Haley Preciado was last seen around midnight today on Albert Street near North Zarzamora Street and Culebra Road. She was wearing a gray hoodie and black pants. If you have any information on where she might be tonight, you are asked to call the SAPD Missing Persons Unit. Their number 210-207-7660.
14 fire units, still not enough to stop a fire from destroying a two-story home on the east side this morning. Flames broke out just after 9 a.m. at the home on Crockett Street near Mesquite Street. When fire crews arrived, they found heavy fire on the second floor due to humid temperatures. At least 32 responders were on scene to help rotate firefighters out and attack those hot spots. The flames made it down to the first floor before the home collapsed. Thankfully, no injuries were reported. The cause of that fire is still under investigation.
Crime Stoppers and San Antonio police need your help identifying a robbery suspect who allegedly held up a clerk at gunpoint. That incident happening back on May 17th at Circle K at a location on McCullough Avenue near West Josephine Street and I-35. Police say the suspect allegedly showed a handgun and pointed at the clerk while demanding money and cigarettes. The clerk telling police the suspect took off with the items and left in a dark-colored vehicle. Anyone with information about this case can leave a tip anonymously at 210-224-STOP.
The war in Ukraine continues as people there fight to preserve their culture. Meanwhile, Ukrainians here in San Antonio want to make sure our community knows why that culture is worth fighting for. The Night Team's Lee Waldman tells us about an exhibit inside the IGO Library on the northwest side that displays pride in Ukrainian history.
This is my mom. She is in Kyiv. All the time she was in Kyiv. She never left, and she's still there.
The photos on display at the IGO Library tell the story of Ukraine. It brings out a lot of feelings, and Olenka Bravo, one of the co-founders of Ukrainian San Antonio.
Very difficult to hear her on the phone when the sirens are there. And when I see her picture, it's even more difficult.
Members of Ukrainian San Antonio worked with the city council leaders in District 4 and 8 to get this display set.
This project is about Ukraine. The exhibit is, how to say it, it's of utmost importance in the war.
Bravo explains part of the attack on Ukraine is with misinformation on the Russian side, claiming Ukraine was never its own nation and that it should belong to Russia. By showcasing the photos and items of decades-old clothing, jewelry, and other artifacts from different regions, Bravo hopes this shows the deep culture of their country.
That way we have more proof to show that we always been and we always who we are.
Her 9-year-old son Albert says he feels a mix of emotions looking at the display and when talking about Ukraine.
I want people to know what it's going through right now, just everything I had to go through.
Seeing the picture of his grandmother in particular, Albert's heart breaks.
Imagine your parents, your grandparents were every day. You didn't know whether they were alive or dead. Just imagine.
The display doesn't have a set time frame for how long it'll be up. If you're looking for other ways to support Ukraine, like a cheesecake and espresso is having another fundraiser tomorrow. It's happening at the Pearl Farmers Market from 10:30 a.m. until 2 p.m. Lee Waldman, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Lee. A welcome home ceremony this evening for 20 heroes returning from the trip of a lifetime. The group is made up of World War II, Korean War, and Vietnam veterans who just visited the nation's capital for the very first time. The flight was made possible by nonprofit organization Honor Flight San Antonio. Organizers say it's their way of thanking these brave men and women for their service. A music-filled ceremony tonight welcoming them home included 81 airmen from Joint Base San Antonio-Lackland. The U.S. has not forgotten the war in Ukraine. What President Biden says the $40 billion package he signed for Ukraine will go towards. Plus, the pizza at this chain might be up to par, but it's what was found on the bathroom floor that led to a low score in reinspection. Tonight, we go behind the kitchen door.
And the U.S. is seeing increasing new COVID cases over the past 6 weeks. This as new approval now given for booster shots for one of the most vulnerable groups. That story when we come back. Welcome back. Quick update to a story we just told you about. That missing 10-year-old girl, Haley Preciado, we are told has been found safe. So that story has been updated to appropriately reflect that. Meanwhile, the CDC giving the green light for kids between 5 and 11 years old to get a COVID booster shot.
The decision comes as cases are rising and hospitalizations among people under 17 has risen by more than 16% in just the past week.
Here's ABC's Elwin Lopez with all the details.
Nearly half of the U.S. is living in areas with medium or high COVID-19 risk levels, according to new data. The country is seeing more than 101,000 new cases per day. Hospitalizations for those under 17 up more than 16% over the past week. The CDC giving the green light for booster shots for children ages 5 to 11 at least 5 months after their initial shots.
We understand that although the risk is less for children, it isn't zero. So my recommendation is to get the vaccine now, and better safe than sorry, not just protecting against the acute effects of COVID, but also the possible complications.
Austin Moger, one of the first kids to roll up his sleeve for the third time.
Because it's like a bubble, and then I already have 2 layers of the bubble. So if I add a booster shot, it's like another layer of the bubble.
His mother, a Hartford nurse.
The past 2 years, I've seen more death in my unit than I've ever seen before. But I'm glad the vaccine is here. We can move forward.
But some parents remain hesitant.
As of now, I don't know how much testing was done. I don't want to take my kid into that risk.
This booster recommendation comes amid concerns of a possible summer surge.
It extends that bubble. It makes the bubble bigger. We've always talked about vaccination as a personal choice, but it's a personal choice with societal consequences.
The FDA is set to decide by early July on a new vaccine expected to roll out in the fall, one that would last longer and better target Omicron and its subvariants.
What I am recommending to basically everybody over 50 is, given how much infection there is, given that extra layer of protection that the second booster offers, that there's no reason to wait.
And in places where there are high rates of transmission, the CDC is once again urging Americans to wear masks indoors. Elwin Lopez, ABC News, Atlanta.
Take a live look outside on this Saturday night. Some folks seeing some rain showers, some thunder, some lightning, some hail, a little bit of everything.
It's looking intense out there in some parts, but slowing down a little bit.
Yes, a little bit. Southwest of San Antonio is where we currently have 2 active severe thunderstorm warnings. And I'll be honest, a lot of folks around San Antonio and Bexar County probably didn't get much rain tonight. You may have heard the thunder and seen the lightning, and then you wound up with little to no rain. That was just the nature of these storms tonight. But you've got continuing chances through the overnight and also over the next several days. So here's a look at how we expect things to play out overnight. I'm going to leave in a chance for scattered showers and storms through the overnight hours. We do have a frontal boundary that will be sliding through overnight. So that's why I'm going to leave in chances of showers and storms. Now, in some spots of the KSAT viewing area, the atmosphere is pretty worked over already, so that could limit how much redevelopment we see overnight. But nonetheless, with the front still needing to move through, we'll have the forcing along the front to potentially spur some more storms. We've got a rain-cooled 73 at the airport in San Antonio, also rain-cooled temperatures across the hill country. Same story along Highway 90 over to Hondo and Uvalde. But look at Del Rio. No rain, still 90 degrees there at this hour. To find the front, it's best to look at wind direction. So wind will turn northerly behind the front. And in some areas we have a north wind, but it's because of the outflows from the thunderstorms that have moved through. I've still got the frontal boundary itself starting to work into the hill country, still a good ways north and west of San Antonio. This again still has to sweep through the area overnight. As it does so, that'll leave the window open for some more showers and storms to develop along the frontal boundary as we get into the pre-dawn hours of Sunday morning. By mid to late morning, that will all drop south. By tomorrow afternoon, we're just mostly cloudy, breezy, and significantly cooler. So look at these temperatures tomorrow compared to the triple digits that a lot of us saw again today. Some of us are going to be 20 degrees cooler tomorrow afternoon. So this will be a significant cool down for us Sunday. I know we're only talking 80s. I'm not telling you to pull out the jacket, but it is going to feel a lot cooler out there tomorrow. Pair that with breezy north-northeast winds and mostly cloudy skies, and it'll just feel like a totally different place out there tomorrow afternoon. Let's take a quick look at live radar once again. Around San Antonio and Bexar County, we don't currently have any active severe weather alerts, but there is plenty of thunder and lightning across northeastern Bexar County into Comal County. New Braunfels, heavy rain around you now, potentially maybe some really small hail over to 281 down toward Garden Ridge, but things are quiet really across a good portion of Bexar County. We do have some kind of rogue lightning strikes, so even if you're not getting rain, you may continue to hear thunder and also see some flashes of lightning. We have some light rain lingering down near Somerset, but the two thunderstorm cells that have really taken over are south and west of San Antonio across Atascosa, Frio, and Zavala counties. This is where we have some severe storms with a lot of heavy rain and lightning. Also some strong winds, 60 to 70 miles per hour, not out of the question. And also this is where we could have some hail up to severe limits. 1.5 inches in diameter will be possible. I want to put this into motion so you can see our friends down near Pearsall and also into Atascosa County, how these storms are moving. This storm around Pearsall is moving slowly to the southeast, and this cell south of Divine is also moving southeast into parts of Atascosa County. So hail continues to be the concern with these two remaining severe thunderstorms, and I'll have updates on these storms for you for through the rest of the newscast here. So let's take a look at Futurecast heading into the overnight hours. Again, we've still got to pull this frontal boundary through. So with that in mind, I'm leaving in a chance for some scattered showers and non-severe storms. It won't be raining and thundering all night long, but we could see some redevelopment after midnight into the pre-dawn hours of tomorrow morning. By mid to late morning tomorrow, rain chances come to an end, and then we just get to enjoy a cooler day. A couple lingering showers possible through the first part of the day, but by the afternoon, mainly just mostly cloudy. 80. Your high temperature tomorrow. It's not a typo. Really enjoyed making this forecast for you. And breezy tomorrow. North-northeast winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. So if your yard doesn't get all the rain it wants tonight, we have more chances in the coming days. Not so much Sunday afternoon and evening, but as we get into Monday night, Tuesday, more chances of scattered showers and storms. We've got a pretty active weather pattern on our hands here. And even through the middle of next week, rain will be possible before we clear things out and bring the sun back in full force heading into next weekend, guys.
Oh, but look at those 80s. So beautiful.
My yard's going to call me a liar tonight when I get home. It's going to say, you didn't water today because you said there'd be rain. We'll get it tomorrow. Thank you, Kate. All right, Andrew's here to talk about high school softball.
It's a wonderful segue from Tim's yard and all the mushrooms he's growing out there. Blanco baseball had a huge day today. Kind of turned the calendar back to 2019. They're heading back to the regional semifinal. When we come back, we'll show you the highlights from that game. Plus, Holy Cross won state thanks to a brilliant pitching performance. Got that too next.
There's no butt chewing. I told them, we got confidence in them, and I just kind of guarantee to win.
Even after losing Game 2 to Marion yesterday 2-0, head coach Brian Wyatt had full confidence that his Blanco Panthers would get it done today, and they did in Big Board Sports. But first, the Holy Cross softball team was in Arlington this afternoon with a chance to defend their TAPS Division III state championship against Trinity Christian. Knights take control of this one in the top of the second, already up 1-0. Bases loaded, and Bella Delgado puts a charge into deep left. That drops in, and all three runners come in to score. It's 4-0 Knights. That's all the offense Holy Cross would need because junior pitcher Gia Reynosa was a monster in the circle, striking out 18 batters in a no-hit effort. Holy Cross completes a playoff shutout of all of their opponents, and they claim their second straight state title. 4-0 is the final. In baseball, Central Catholic had a chance to bring home a TAPS Division I title against Plano Prestonwood today. Lions jump on the board in a hurry, though. Will Johnson drives in a pair of runs with this RBI single to left. Throw home here, not in time to get the second runner as Plano puts 3 runs on the board in the first inning. Buttons come up a win short of the title. They fall 5-0. Back home, the third round of the UIL playoffs wrapped up this afternoon. Game 3 between Blanco and Marion at NEISD Sports Park. Panthers were shut out in Game 2 last night. That didn't happen today. Top of the first, Blanco up 1-0. Zach Wisdom puts another run on the board with that RBI single to right. It's 2-0 Panthers after 1. Top of the third now. Line keeps moving. This time, Dylan LaRue pokes one into left. Devin Newsom had a great read on the ball, and he scores to kickstart a 3-run inning. It's 5-0 Blanco. Bulldogs not going away quietly, though. Bases loaded, bottom of the 5th. Callan Beck just sneaks a hit past the second baseman. That'll plate a pair of runs. The comeback is on now. Marion trails 6-2. They got a chance for more damage in the same inning with 2 on. Ty Blake gives it a ride into left. They're going to wave the runner home here, but check out the throw from the left fielder. They get him at the plate. Perfect tag by catcher Dylan LaRue for the out. Blanco cruises from there. They win it 9-2 and take the series 2-1.
I think the series fed off of energy. We had great energy the first game of the series. Second game was lacking a little bit, and it showed. We lost 2-0 there, but we came out today with energy out the wazoo and came out with a win.
This means a lot. Compared to last year, we only made it 2 rounds, so making it past the 3rd round is definitely a milestone right there. And this is only my second year here, so being with this team, it's been great. And I hope to go farther with these boys.
Blanco will face Bishop in the 4th round next week. For the first time since 2019, the Reagan baseball team is heading to the 4th round of the UIL Class 6A playoffs. The Rattlers knocked off the defending regional champion Smithson Valley Rangers 3-2 in 8 innings last night to clinch a 2-game sweep. Tegan Peoples drove in the go-ahead run in the 8th, and then he stepped on the mound to ice the game in the bottom of the 8th. A slice of revenge for Reagan here after the Rattlers were knocked out by Smithson Valley in the 3rd round of last year's playoffs.
We knew they were kings of the region. They made it last year, so they were kings until someone took them down, and that just had to be us because we ran into them.
Blessed, if I'm being honest, blessed. You know, they had us last year in the 3rd round, and we just came out, did our job, stuck together as a team, and we have one goal, and that's to get to state, and that's what we're doing.
So Reagan faces the winner of this game here, O'Connor, taking on Eagle Pass in Game 3 of their 3rd round series this afternoon. Top of the 4th, game tied at 3. Dylan Lopez drops a base hit into right. That's going to plate 1 run. Throw home is in time, though, to keep it a 1-run game as the Panthers take the lead in this one 4-3 thanks to a 3-run inning. But Eagle Pass rallies for the win 5-4. O'Connor has been eliminated. The Eagles will now face Reagan in the 4th round. And in Class 5A action, Georgetown eliminated Canyon with a 3-2 win in Game 3. Coming up later in sports, UTSA baseball capped their regular season in impressive fashion, plus the Preakness, so plenty of horsing around left to go.
That baseball diamond has real dirt.
Yes.
I bet it feels better.
It probably does. Thank you, Andrew. We'll look forward to that.
You got it.
We'll be right back.
Oh, welcome back. We're kicking off this half hour with a radar update for you. And something I really want to stress here, if you're in Bexar County, San Antonio, there are no severe thunderstorm warnings currently active, but we continue to hear pretty persistent thunder. Our cameras are showing a ton of lightning around town, even though there's really not a whole lot of rain left. So even if you're not hearing a lot of rain, if you're not getting hail, you'll probably continue to hear the thunder and see the flashes of lightning. We do have some heavy rain northeast Bexar County, Schertz, Cibolo area, up I-35 into Comal County around New Braunfels. There's more rain there. Around San Antonio, there's just some small pockets of rain, but again, fairly persistent thunder and lightning. The 2 severe thunderstorm warnings that we currently have out are affecting Frio County, especially around Pearsall, I-35. We've got hail there, heavy rain, a lot of lightning, and also a severe thunderstorm warning. This is the one that has just most recently been issued for Atascosa County, including Pleasanton, Jourdanton, Charlotte, and Poteet. This thunderstorm cell has possibly some quarter-size hail in it, along with some 60-mile-per-hour winds. It is slowly moving southeast, so a heads up for our friends in Atascosa County. More radar updates and a look at what you can expect for the next several days coming up in a bit. Courtney.
Thank you, Katie. A dead mouse, rodent droppings, and filthy bathrooms lead to a low score for a North Side bar and pizza chain, which has been ordered to undergo re-inspection due to repeat violations.
It's what I found when I went behind the kitchen door this week.
First up this week, the Highlander Grill and Bar located in the 5500 block of Fredericksburg Road over on the northwest side. The bar racked up numerous violations, which led to a low score of 70. The inspector found uncovered hard cheese in the cooler, along with other uncovered items which could lead to cross-contamination. A foul smell was coming from the kitchen sink, and the men's restroom had a strong urine smell. The inspector found a trap with a dead mouse in it, as well as rodent droppings in the kitchen. In addition to needing a visit from a pest control expert, the place also needed a good cleaning because the inspector found a heavy accumulation of grease on the walls and a black mold-like substance on most of the walls in the bar and kitchen. The bar was ordered to undergo a re-inspection. Our next stop is the Little Caesars in the 900 block of W.W. White Road over on the southeast side.
This location earned a score of a 78 when inspectors came by on April 25th. That's the same score they had last September when inspectors stopped by, and they had nearly identical violations, which earned them a re-inspection. Each time, inspectors found prepped pizzas at 61 degrees. That's 20 degrees warmer than required. Both visits also noted employees needed to do a better job of washing their hands and keeping the walls, floors, and ceiling panels cleaned. Inspectors came back on May 10th for a re-inspection and found all of the corrections had been made. That's what's behind the kitchen door. Tim Gerver, KSAT 12 News. And you can catch my BKD reports on Thursday nights right here on the Nightbeat. Several restaurants also got perfect scores this week. To see who did a good job, use your phone to scan this QR code and it'll take you right to our perfect scores database over on KSAT.com.
At least 2 people are dead after a tornado ripped through parts of northern Michigan last night. The National Weather Service giving a preliminary report that it was an EF3 with peak winds up to 140 miles per hour. 1 person still unaccounted for and 44 others are injured. This morning, around 6,500 homes were without power. Data shows the tornado was on the ground for 26 minutes. Michigan's governor issuing a declaration of emergency for the county affected.
We are here. We are going to work closely. We're going to work together. We're going to recover. This community is the heart of northern Michigan, and our thoughts are with everyone who's been impacted by this storm.
Officials say the 2 people killed were both in their 70s and lived in a mobile home park that took a huge hit. 95% of the mobile homes in that park were destroyed.
Today marks the first full day of President Joe Biden's trip to Asia. The highlight of the trip so far, the president signing a $40 billion aid package for Ukraine. The package provides military and humanitarian assistance as well as support for refugees. President Biden signed it while in Seoul. While there, the president also speaking about strengthening relations with Seoul and Tokyo. The 2 nations discussing expanding joint military drills as a possible North Korean nuclear missile test looms. Biden even saying he would consider meeting with North Korean President Kim Jong-un.
The Republic of Korea and the United States are standing together, part of a global response with our allies and partners around the world to condemn Russia's flagrant violations of international law.
The president of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, thanking the U.S. on Twitter for that aid package. Meanwhile, Russia's war in Ukraine approaches the 3-month mark, leaving families torn apart in villages like the one outside of Kharkiv in ruins.
Well, it's only been a week since a San Antonio mother and wife lost her husband in a motorcycle crash. But during Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month, she's setting pain aside to share his story. She sat down with our RJ Marquez to share more about her husband Anthony Galvan's passion for riding and the support their family has received since the crash.
My whole world came crashing down. I didn't know what to do, how to react.
Criselda Galvan said she knew her and her son's life would never be the same after her husband, Anthony Galvan, died in a motorcycle crash.
I can't even put into words. It's something that I wish on no one.
Galvan was 32 years old and started riding more than 10 years ago.
It became a passion. He became, he fell in love with it.
He was riding his motorcycle on the far west side last Wednesday when he crashed into a car making a turn.
1/3 of motorcycle fatalities happen at intersections.
Laura Lopez with TxDOT says they saw a 7% increase in deadly motorcycle crashes in 2021 compared to 2020. TxDOT wants to get the word out about motorcycle safety this month with the Look Twice for Motorcycles campaign.
Pay extra attention when changing lanes. Pay extra attention when passing a motorcycle.
This is the helmet and the gloves that Anthony was wearing at the time of the crash. Now, his wife, Criselda, tells us that the support that they have received since the crash has been absolutely overwhelming, and that it just shows how beloved he was in the motorcycle community and his passion for riding.
It amazes me on how much people went out to support him.
This past Sunday, several motorcyclists showed up for a ride and candlelight vigil to honor their friend. Criselda and Anthony's little boy will now carry on his memory.
He was a great dad to our son. It makes me happy that he's impacted so many lives, and I hope that this can bring families closer.
RJ Marquez, KSAT 12 News.
Bringing awareness with a brunch twist. That's the goal behind the Baby Bumps and Brunch event put on by the Health Collaborative San Antonio. It offers resources for families while raising awareness. Affect Black women. According to the CDC, Black women are 3 times more likely to die from a pregnancy-related issue compared to white women. The CDC citing disparities in healthcare, underlying chronic conditions, systematic racism, and implicit bias as to factors why that happens. The free event on the East Side touched on all things babies and was open to those who are expecting, who have newborns, or just want to learn more about birth. We'll be right back.
Texas A&M head football coach Jimbo Fisher has not been shy in responding to Alabama head coach Nick Saban's accusations regarding paying players during recruitment. Earlier this week, Saban had said that, quote, A&M bought every player on their team, close quote, using the new name, image, and likeness, or NIL rule. Fisher called together a press conference on Thursday to respond to Saban, and then the very next day, he was in San Antonio visiting the local A&M club for their annual coaches meeting. Fisher then sat down with KSAT 12's Greg Simmons and said his team has not taken any kind of advantage of the new NIL rule.
And I just researched this. Of the 11 guys we have in placing that came early, 1 guy has an NIL deal.
Really?
Yes.
Just one?
Just one. So all these stories you're hearing are complete lies.
Well, now, what happened over the last 48 hours?
Nothing, and it never happened before. Because it was written on social media, and it started with the Bro Bible sliced bread deal.
Right.
So everybody believed it. And Nick, all the people obviously believed it. I went and checked with our compliance people because we have nothing to do with it.
We'll have much more on Greg's exclusive one-on-one interview with Fisher this Sunday night on Instant Replay. UTSA baseball wrapped up their regular season in impressive fashion today, hosting UAB. Chase King ended a blowout victory with a walk-off 2-run homer in the bottom of the 7th as the Roadrunners defeated UAB via 10-run rule, 12-2. That clinches the final series victory for them as well. UTSA finishes the regular season with a 35-19 overall record, 19-11 in Conference USA play, and will enter the conference tournament now as the 5th seed. Their first tournament game is against Florida Atlantic on Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Let's head to the majors. Rangers at the Astros. Both teams split their first 2 games of this series, and Houston gets on the board first in the bottom of the first. Yordan Alvarez grounds a base hit through into left. Jose Siri scores for a 1-0 lead. The Astros get another run on a wild pitch in the bottom of the 5th, and that's all they would need today. Houston hangs on to win 2-1. Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Final in Boston, as seen here on KSAT 12. Celtics hosting the Heat with the series tied at 1 game apiece. Boston trailed by 26 in the first half, but they cut that lead down to 1 on this 3 from Jaylen Brown. Unfortunately, Miami responds with a 7-0 run, including this incredible jump shot from Bam Adebayo to beat the shot clock. Heat win it 109-103. They now lead the series 2-1. It is moving day in the PGA Championship. 3rd round action from Tulsa. Tiger Woods made the cut. He had a rough go of it today, finishing 12 over on the round after this par putt on 18. He then withdrew from the tournament earlier this evening. The man to watch is Mito Pereira. Here he makes a long birdie putt on 18, capping a 1-under-69. Pereira has been under par every single round of the tournament so far. So it's Pereira on top of the leaderboard heading into the final day, with Zalatoris in hot pursuit, tied for 2nd, 3 strokes back. And take a look at San Antonio resident Abraham Answer, currently in 5th. We end with the Preakness Stakes in Baltimore. The Kentucky Derby winner Rich Strike was pulled from the race, so Epicenter was the favorite coming into this one. It's actually Armagnac who gets out to an early lead right out of the gates, but as they come around the final bend, it's Early Voting. Yes, that's actually the horse's name. Early Voting, who fends off Epicenter down the line to win the Preakness by a length and a half. Just another reminder not to underestimate the power of early voting.
It's all timing.
But was there a recount? Has there been any demand for a recount?
I don't know. Even with the mail-in ballot, I feel like he'd probably still win.
All right. Thank you.
We'll be back.
More rain chances to come over the next several days. So, Tim, I'm confident your yard will get some rain.
I will tell it when I get home.
And
tonight.
stop yelling at Tim. Poor grass.
I know. It's unlikely. That's all of our time. Thanks for watching.